And boom, here we go. They've just hit the ring. The announcer jumping out. Look at the fire Wrestling 2 had. And this was Dennis' thing. He loved taking bumps in the robes because he thought it looked so fucking exciting, right? So the baby faces hit the ring. The only thing I miss on these, and you got to go back and watch it, folks, with the crowd audio up. We can't do it for this purpose, but the people were so hot, and they just were into everything. But anyway, so chaos reigns as the baby faces are fucking kicking ass. Wrestling 2, once we won the belts, 2 shot Dennis off with the robe thing going on one night and gut shotted him. He had the belt on. 2 almost broke his fucking knuckles. Alice Marie Nelson, the photographer I'm hiding behind there. Bruce Pritchard is probably somewhere around ringside. The ring announcer was Cleet Dumpster, local radio personality. Cleet Dumpster. Carl Fergie, Cousin Carl, is the referee. And look at Bobby. That was already like whenever he was going to start getting juice every night, so he would do the thing where when you hit him in the head, that was like a fucking nervous tick of his, so when he had to get juice, you didn't notice it. Magnum went to shoot him off, but Dennis was in the way, so Bobby put the brakes on. This was called completely in the ring because we were in separate locker rooms. So in Houston, you never saw the baby faces till you got in the ring. So everything except the finish was called in the ring, and the finishes were given by Bill Dundee was the booker, so he would come over and he'd give you the finish verbally in each locker room. So you heard it from the same guy, but you heard it at different times.
This is January 27th. How many times had you guys worked already with TA and 2? You guys were already working together regularly?
Well, I would have to get the Midnight Express book, but 10 or 12 times, because since the middle of January, because we'd just been in the territory full time since December 25th. So, and we had the 2 or 3 weeks around the Horn of Putover matches. So maybe 5 or 6, 7, 8 times, somewhere around there. And so we'd never met. Dennis and Bobby knew too. Look at that, the knee lift. And look at him sell the knee lift. Dennis and Bobby knew too from Georgia, but we'd never met Magnum before in our lives. And none of them knew who the fuck I was. Bobby actually started calling the knee lift, and 2 loved the way that Bobby sold the knee lift every time. He'd take a backflip bump or a sideways bump or go over the top rope or whatever. So 2 kept giving them to him. And then he realized about a month into this program, he's hitting Bobby with his finish 3 or 4 times every match, and we're still winning. So then he stopped doing it. Even 2, a fucking veteran like that, he got caught up in it. And, once again, the baby faces have the people. Now we bail out. The people are still making noise. They're still into this thing. And now here, fucking Magnum wants to do a little chase scene. I've got Alice. Yeah, there, Alice. Hey, I was not grabbing a feel. I was really hiding for my life. And you see, the referee's trying to get control of this shit, and obviously, they're not breaking the 10 count thing. We're just trying to fucking bail out and run, and Bobby's trying to tell Magnum something. Looking around for something to use, and yep, and there we go. He's like, God damn it, 2, I wanted to do this spot with Magnum. He was going to do the ass bump into this chair spot, but yeah, he's going to do it anyway, God damn it. Here we go. Okay. And boom! Oh my gosh! And the people go crazy. Look at the guy down here in the foreground, fucking pumping his fists in the air. Nobody has to do a dive. Nobody has to take a chance on breaking their fucking neck. Just get ass bumped onto the seat of the chair, not the spine of the chair, the seat of the chair.
Fergie's the biggest guy in the ring.
Yeah. Poor Carl. He made a really good referee. He was a heck of a worker. He just didn't have the promo and the oomph, but he made a great referee. And all we're doing here is just settling it. We're scared. We're trying to fucking slow it down. And at the same time, the people, look at all the people, and Bobby gets his fucking hand stomped, and people are ready to kill us. I love that black cop right there with the afro. He was always right behind me or on top of things. And he saved my neck right there behind Dennis on more than one occasion.
3-piece suit you're wearing.
Yeah, this is one I got of Mike Duncan pay for one out of every 3 special at the fucking mall in Hendersonville before I left Tennessee. I love Houston was so old-fashioned. See the guy on the far side, the bald guy? They had ring seconds that were there just to take the jackets, and then they had the security guys, and then they had the uniformed police with guns and batons. You had a lot of people around the ring. It got tight sometimes, but see, the cops are always keeping an eye on everything, and you needed to here. And look at Magnum's punches. Dennis is like, fucking hell. Why did I call this? Get you off of me, you son of a bitch. Watch Dennis Condrey. Everything he does is so sharp, so perfect. And a boom, Bobby with the spit. And now the slingshot in. Boom. Magnum was so green here, and he was stiff, and you could tell the flipper punches. But at the same time, he just had so much fire, and he was such a good-looking athlete. People liked him, right? And you just needed to show that the baby faces were willing to kick ass, including the cameramans, I guess. Oh, here we go. Well, you got to. It's a 2-camera shoot. One play-by-play camera up here on the stage that you're seeing the entire ring, and the other floor camera. And sometimes one of them would get the plug pulled and wouldn't work. That's why you've got some Houston matches from this time period with only one camera. Okay, we've shined Magnum. Now let's get the old master in. And just look at those tie-ups. And right, boom, and the old fucking heel discombobulated. And fucking 2 is trying to keep up with there. There's another knee lift. And the little dance. This guy's, he's in his fucking 50s, but you can't tell because he's got the fucking mask on. Right? He doesn't look like old Johnny Walker. He looks like Mr. Wrestling 2. You just, at this point, we're shining the baby faces. They're outsmarting us. They're ducking. They're dodging. They're kicking of Midnight's ass. We've got to establish that they're better than we are head up and face to face and by the rules, so we've got to cheat. And we're not finished establishing that yet. I was going to say, in a few minutes from now, when Dennis gets back in, everything Dennis does was so precise, so perfect, body language, everything. Just always in the right place, timing. And boom, and once again, Bobby just sells a punch to the face. Who sells like that anymore?
I was going to say before, I love the way he sells his mouth every time he's punched. He just holds it. Yeah.
Now what? He was waving at Dennis. Come in. The referee sees Dennis, and now the Wrestling 2's got him by the hair and going to pull him back in to take more fucking advantage of him. And this was not hard to call because it was a grudge match, so it's supposed to be a fight. And you know, even if things didn't always work out perfectly, like we saw a minute ago, hey, get out of my way, I'm trying to do this spot, they just fucking went on and went with it because it wasn't supposed to look like such a choreographed, you know, exhibition. It was supposed to look like these guys were trying to do shit and the other guys were trying to stop them. Once again, Dennis's body language, he sells the gut, he fucking rubber leg, boom, right into that. He doesn't know what Magnum's going to hit him with till he hits him, but now he's discombobulated, and he's going to beg. People are making more noise when he begs than when they're in action. What were you going to say?
2 does the old-fashioned Irish whip, both hands on one wrist.
Yeah, both hands on the wrist, and he did the old-fashioned backdrop too, turning sideways instead of head first, and that used to discombobulate Bobby. He hated that because Bobby could get. They didn't boost guys as high up on backdrops in those days because the rings were harder. So Bobby liked to take big ones. Anyway. And boom! And the cameraman's gone again. I just love the way Dennis moves around the ring. He's always in motion, and he's always right there.
How old is Dennis here?
This is 1984. He is 33, I believe. Somewhere around there. And see, Dennis always looked old.
Yeah, he never looked young.
Dennis looked old when he was young. And there you go, and boom. 2 fucking nails Bobby and turns around, and Dennis gets to cut him off because he came from behind. And look at 2 sell. And there's another knee lift. And a boom. And shot to Bobby. Bounces like a ping pong ball. This was Bobby right there, had been in the business for 9 years. He's 25 years old. This is the biggest money spot he's ever had. He was working his ass off. By 1984, Bobby Eaton was probably the best Bobby ever, and he was still lean because he couldn't afford to gain weight in Tennessee. And it just, we were all working our ass off, but Bobby especially to stand out. And now Dennis warning the referee, back him up and check the knee. He might have a foreign object implanted somewhere behind his bare kneecap.
I always like when you see this version of the Express wearing matching colors. Looks good.
Yeah, we didn't have time to have any robes made. Actually, those were, I think, both. Those were both Dennis's robes that they were wearing earlier because we didn't have time to have anything made. We had 2 weeks' notice. We were going, not even 2 weeks. We were going to be a team. Okay, anyway, now look at Bobby Eaton get fucking vicious. Look at that. You can see his fingers bent around the fucking guy's goozle pipe, even though he's putting no pressure on it. And look at the fucking motion. And Dennis is over now with the fucking knocking the camera guy out of the way. It's just cheating. And it's cheating where the babyface has to portray that he can't overcome it. He can't get out from under it. He's being beleaguered and put upon. And now the referee fucking restores order too late. Oh, golly. And the two's going to, once he gets in a hold here in a few minutes, he's going to start his thing, and the people are going to start, they would chant, 2, 2, 2, 2. And he'd put his 2 fingers up in the air. Bobby thought he was a cat, like he was going to scratch him at first with the fingers till he saw he was signaling the people, 2, 2. Dennis had a hell of an atomic drop that you haven't seen in 20 years. And once again, back on the offense, vicious. That's why they call it getting heat. You're making the people mad because you're a vicious prick. And Bobby rear back and throws them. Boom, and a fucking stumble cell because you don't know where you're at. They don't all have to be flat back bumps.
You mentioned the atomic drop. That was actually Magnum's first finisher in Mid-South.
I'm about to say something. Here we go. Dennis came off the top, but I'm telling Bobby something. I don't know what because you can't see me on camera. I think it was, it could be the spot coming up here. Here we go. Because now that's what Dennis had told me to, yeah. Dennis draws the referee. I hand the fucking chair in. Bobby gives him the fucking shot. There we go. And look at sell the fucking gut shot with the edge of the chair that he never felt. Like he's having goddamn abdominal ruptures. And the people are throwing shit. And they're fucking mad. And, once again, I hate to keep saying nobody works like so-and-so, but nobody works like any of these people anymore. They all work the same. And they all have to run through things at 100 miles an hour where it can't register. Boom. Because he was so short and squat when he bent over and kind of bent down like that. It's a different way of fucking selling. And you work the guy's stomach. And that's what he would be saying to Dennis. Just keep coming. Work the stomach. No daylight in between Bobby's hand and chin, but you never feel it.
Fergie giving it to Bobby there.
And here we go one more time, Dennis. Dennis off the top rope. Oh, my God, that was deadly.
That was a disqualification in Mid-South off the top rope.
Well, yeah, that's why the referee couldn't see it. If you came off the top, in Tennessee, too, and in most of the NWA territories, if you jumped off the top rope onto your opponent, you were disqualified because that was too dangerous a move to allow. So the referee's back's turned. Dennis come off the top rope with a fucking punch, and the people would go absolutely insane. Now they're 2. And he's doing his thing. He's fighting up from the chin lock, and the people's fingers across the way. 2. And now look at him fight. Look at him throw those fucking elbows. And Dennis with the leg trip, boom, and he had reached back and tagged. Here comes Bobby, kick to the fucking face. And that's the way that heels double team, immobilize the fucking opponent, and fucking make a switch. Boom. Here comes Bobby. The referee's watching, so he's going to come off the second rope. And look at that knee.
How was that ring in Houston?
Harder than Chinese arithmetic. hard. It had no give whatsoever. It had a lot of padding. Rings with a lot of padding and no give are fucking horrible. See, you can see it. It bounces a little bit, but it is mostly padding. And that means that you just put 4 layers of carpeting on your garage floor and then take a slam on it. Or put 1 layer of carpeting on a trampoline and take a slam on that. Anyway, boom! 2's a little heavy there. Got a little satchel ass. I love the way Dennis would give guys the backbreaker like that and just shove them off like they were a sack of shit. And his kicks are so sharp.
Some fan just got into your face.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was a regular occurrence. And he's going for the backdrop and the knee lift. And now, can he make the tag? And yes, he does. Holy shit. We didn't see that coming. And look at the people. And here we go. And Magnum, those things, half of them landed and half of them weren't anywhere in the stratosphere. But look at the fire. He's only been in the business a couple of years, but he's a guy that looks like that athletic. And I just pulled the fucking rope down. He went over the top rope. The referee didn't see it. That would have been a disqualification. And now here he comes. It's like, what the fuck? Now here fucking 2's gone crazy. And I should mention that now where's Magnum? He said, fuck it. He walked right down the goddamn aisleway. The people said, where the fuck's he going? Dundee gave us this finish. I thought it was brilliant. He said, the people are going to think Magnum has left 2 to be beat up all by himself, right? No. Magnum goes back to the goddamn stage and finds a board and comes back to the ring carrying this piece of fucking lumber while his partner is having the shit kicked out of him by the Midnight Express. And, of course, it took Magnum a little while longer than we thought. And here he is. Boom! Listen to the fucking people. What a fucking pop. He breaks the board over Bobby's head. Bobby gets the fucking juice. Now he gives a piece of the board to Wrestling 2. And look at Dennis try to open himself up for that thing everywhere he could. And it's chaos. And the fucking baby faces have been disqualified because Magnum came in with the fucking board. And Dennis is getting tired of that goddamn board. And I've just thrown powder at Magnum. So I've blinded him so that I could get Bobby away from him. And now look, and the cops are already in front of us, and they're going to fucking corral us. We're going off to the left. And 2 says, come on, son, let's go get him. And holy shit. Thank God we were running because they were running too and they meant it. And you can't see any more of it because the people fucking closed in. But that was our first main event in Houston and an example of what you can do with proper television promotion and people believing.